You're listening to Sheep, where we put the funny back into the news. I'm Andrew Bolton, and with me, as always, my fellow sheepolite, Mel Fessenden. All right, and we are back with another episode.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Mel Bolton.
And it is me, Andrew Bolton. And together we are Sheep. Weep. We've been taking singing lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys could tell or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we had done lessons before, too. Episodes and episodes ago. But we fired that teacher. Got us a new one.
Yeah. We fired Amber Heard's lawyer. And we got ourselves Johnny Depp's lawyer.
Yeah.
Very good decision.
I don't know. That lawyer had a steep hill.
Oh, the I'm trying lawyer? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess we should say the verdict for the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation lawsuit just came out. Yep. Trial. Mm-hmm. She's guilty. She owes $15 million. He's guilty. He owes $2 million.
Yeah.
So what do you know?
They were both wrong.
Yeah.
Just the amount of money differs.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a fair thing, though. It's like just because one person is wrong doesn't mean that the other person wasn't wrong too.
Yeah. I think there's instances where both people can be wrong. And I think there's instances where someone is more wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we all know rhymes with turd. Yes, we know who that is. So, alrighty, guys. Well, we're not actually even talking about that story today.
Yeah. No more about standard turd.
Yeah, standard turd. She's just a standard turd. Pretty proud of yourself with that one?
Yeah. I was worried I wasn't going to get it in time.
Yeah. No, the sheets were open.
Phew.
Yeah. All right. Well, instead of holding on to that for another 2 weeks, let's just go right into it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Sure.
Great.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm diving in.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, teens came to fight her daughter. Blue Springs mom says they beat her up instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Blue Springs is the name of a town. It's not like I thought it was like a car wash.
I'm hoping that the teens that were coming to fight were also female. It just feels like it's more even all around.
Yeah, if there's a teen that comes up and it's a dude to beat up a teen chick.
Yeah, just...
Yeah. I feel like you belong at a registry or some kind of thing.
So this girl's getting attacked by a posse of friends. Or ex-friends. Or maybe never friends.
Wow.
Yeah. I put that one together.
Covering the hard-hitting stories that other news won't. Sheep Podcast.
Oh, man.
Very accurate.
I don't think moms are...
built to fight.
No.
Not
even teenage girls.
Apparently.
I don't know. You got to go out there with the rolling pin.
Oh, yeah, the classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go
Put on your apron.
Make
sure you don't leave a stain on your outfit.
Hot pie right to the face. Mm-hmm. Scald them to death.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then afterwards, you got to do... you got to be that mom that treats them all to a meal and makes them all friends.
Right, that's what you got to do. You got to beat their ass, then feed them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, classic.
What did we learn, ladies? Let's start a Girl Scout group.
That doesn't seem like something a white mom could do. That seems more black mom to me.
Gosh, right. I'm trying to see.
Maybe Hispanic mom? I'm just not picturing white mom pulling that off.
Well, it can't be white yoga mom. It's got to be bakes every day mom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like... She cooks, she cleans. She's got some thickness to her.
Okay.
That's what I'm picturing. No ethnicity, but I'm picturing more of a standard physique. Yeah.
Okay. A rotund baking mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So a Blue Springs mother recovering from a concussion, broken nose, and black eyes. Well, that usually happens when you break your nose, in all fairness.
Yeah, that's true.
Said she worries that police won't hold the teenage girls she says attacked her accountable.
Well, I mean, I would be worried about that too, but I mean, everything has to be investigated. It just can't be he said, she said type deal.
Yeah, it can't just be broken nose, arrest. Plus, it's their kids. I mean, granted, would you... like, for example, if this happened to a teenager, we would just go, teenagers fight. But...
no. Broken
nose? Come on. Broken nose is no big deal. Honest.
Concussion. Concussion's pretty bad. That means...
yeah, ever since Will Smith's movie about CTE, it's all... concussions are no joke anymore. Damn you, Will Smith. And alopecia's not funny anymore.
Slap me silly.
Yeah, but alopecia's not funny anymore. He's going through all of the medical jargon. He's making sure nothing's funny. Soon autism won't be... you can't even get a laugh at that anymore. Ugh. The audacity.
I tell you.
So, Michelle I'm sorry, were you going to...
no, I've already lost it.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say something, and then you started going down a different path, and I just threw away my thought.
Okay, but it was going to blow our minds.
Yeah, it's non-retrievable, though.
Okay, so it wasn't a dog. So Michelle Otto, 48, said Blue Springs police told her that the two girls she says punched her 2 weeks ago in her driveway are charged with simple assault and will be prosecuted through youth court.
2 girls? I thought it'd be at least 3.
Well,
her daughter didn't back her up?
I know. I'm a little upset by the daughter letting your mom go out there and get her ass kicked. Maybe it's different because it's like I have like a son mentality to my mother, whereas like I'm protective of my mom.
Oh, I would throw some fists for my mom.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Throw some fists? Some
yeah,
fisticuffs?
Right? That's a lingo, right?
Yeah. Throw hands. You'd throw hands.
I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I got some pretty weak wrists.
Yeah.
Maybe open hand.
Yeah, it's like your whole hand would crumple hitting some cardboard.
That is a genuine worry.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know those girls
that rethink that.
Yeah, those people that get mad that punch through drywall. You've never had that problem.
No, I've never punched through drywall.
Well, what I'm saying is drywall's stronger than you.
I know, but I have punched through it.
Yeah, sure. Nobody believes you.
I can do it.
Yeah. So according to a police report, officers with the Community Youth Outreach Division will handle the case. And Aldo doesn't agree, saying they should face more severe charges and punishments for causing injuries that kept her from work for a week and suffering headaches every day for 2 weeks. She said the officer told her that the teens were as young as 13 and 14.
You got beat up by a 13 and 14-year-old.
Yeah, you should be embarrassed by that.
Gosh, I know.
And not embarrassed, but
no, I could see someone of that age and maybe being on the larger size of growing spurts could deal some damage. But it just sounds like this mom just didn't go out with any plan. Yeah. Because clearly her daughter was losing.
Well, you'll see. So they actually didn't even touch the daughter.
Oh, gosh. The plot thickens.
Yeah, it does, just like the mother. So let's see here. They think that they are grown enough to beat up someone's mom. I think they need to pay the consequences, Otto told the Star. What's going to stop them from coming back or to do this to somebody else? How about that they're 13 and 14? They don't think that they're old enough to beat up a mom.
Yeah, I doubt that's the thought process that went through
It's not like when you're 25 and you're like, I can finally rent a car.
Although I do agree with her later statement of that now they know they can beat up adults.
Consequence free?
Yeah.
No, because one day they're going to mess with the wrong adult and that's going to really teach them a lesson.
Yeah, I'm just picturing this a very slight appearance-wise mom. But what were you going to say about the used cars? Oh,
not used cars. It's like when she said they think they're grown enough to beat up someone's mom. I think they need to pay the consequences. She's angry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what I was saying was, it's not like when you turn 21 and you're legally allowed to drink all of a sudden. You're like, hey, I'm 21. I'm old enough to go out to the bars. You're like, no, there is no age in which you go, hey, I'm 32. I am now legally allowed to beat up a mom.
Yeah.
Where is that mom? There is no age where that is ever okay. The older you get, the more you realize how inappropriate that is.
Yeah.
But when you're 13 and 14, you have no idea. You're a moron. You barely have a grasp of the English language, just like I do.
Right. I'm trying to picture how this mom handled it too, because how she's setting it up, it makes it sound like she saw her daughter getting attacked, which you've already said that's not what happened. Getting attacked, and then she comes running out. Hey, what are you doing? And then the two girls just turn on her and just attack her. It sounds like the mom might have thrown the first punch.
Well, let's find out.
All right.
So Blue Springs Police Chief, that's another non-intimidating police.
Blue Springs
Police Chief.
Come and join us at Plasticville.
Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chief Bob Munes, I apologize, Munes, if I butchered your name, said Tuesday morning that the case is still under investigation. At this point, he said it's being handled by the juvenile unit, but cases can be moved up to family court based on injuries sustained in an assault. In family court, teens go before a judge. So Otto said that she and her husband were so here's the incident.
Okay.
All right, this is where the actual incident starts.
Okay.
So Otto said she and her husband were asleep when their daughters, ages 16 and 18. Why do you have beef with a 13 and 14-year-old if you're 16 and 18? How could you possibly have beef with a 13 and 14-year-old?
But 16, 18, and they lost a 13 and 14. This is very...
I think the 16 and 18-year-old need to train their mom more to be able to handle stuff like this.
Gosh, I don't know. It sounds like this is probably the scariest 13 and 14-year-old there ever was.
Yes, teardrops. Teardrop tattoos going all the way down their body.
Yeah, they're just
riddled.
Twirling their jump rope around.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Like nunchucks.
Very impressive.
You're going to enjoy these Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
You want some more?
Yeah. So, let's see here. Okay. So, Otto said she and her husband were asleep when their daughters, aged 16 and 18, woke them up between 10:30 and 10:45 in the night of May 14th. The oldest said that a carload of girls was...
Sorry.
Carload of girls was out front and wanted to fight the younger sister, Otto said. You know, as a 16 and 18-year-old boy, if a group of guys came to my home, you handled that business.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't wake mom and dad up unless you were truly freaked, which they might have been.
Yeah.
Still sleepy, Otto went downstairs to tell the girls to leave. She figured that's all it would take. Why is the dad not doing this?
Because it's a bunch of girls.
I could understand my argument with that too, where I'd be like, listen, I shouldn't go down there. I'm an adult male.
Yeah.
These are a bunch of 13 and 14-year-old girls, obviously hopped up on something.
Yeah, I would at least get up as the husband and support the wife, but I would, if it was me and you were my husband, let's
play that scenario. What if?
I would volunteer to go out there because I think it's just safer with the Me Too movement and all that jazz that goes on.
Yeah.
And then I would hope you were just like watching from a window.
Yeah. What if I think what I would do is I would be like on the roof, just being weird, just trying to be like, who the hell is this guy?
Just stalking back and forth.
Yeah, I'm just going, stay on the roof, honey. Stay on the roof. They'd be like, who the hell is this family?
If I didn't think you were going to fall off accidentally, I'd be all for this plan.
Okay, well, thanks for having zero confidence in me as a man. Remember when we were just a boyfriend and a girlfriend and you had all the faith in me? I could tell you, I'm going to do a backflip off of that truck while it's moving. You'd go, do it. Now I go, I'm going to just kind of walk on the roof gingerly. You go, if I had faith in you. Man, husbands are mistreated in this country. Good Lord.
All right, it was a lie. I was worried for your safety.
God,
Stay inside.
I get zero respect in my home. That's crazy.
Okay, so this minivan, I'm assuming, pulls up of girls, because that's how I'm picturing
carload
it.
of girls. On
Automatic doors open up.
On May 14th. So today is what, June 1st?
Yeah.
So today is Wednesday. So yesterday was a Tuesday, and the 31st. So the week before that, it was the 24th. And the week before that, it was I lost count.
Oh, man. Here, I'm just going to look it up on my phone.
Yeah, when was May 14th?
Okay.
If it was a school night, this kid's immediately become more intimidating. But if it was a Saturday, Friday, Saturday.
They're just looking for something to do.
Yeah. So, but the 3 to 4 girls in the white sedan, not a minivan, refused to go, Otto said, and instead got more aggressive and kept demanding that the younger daughter come outside. Imagine the audacity you would have to tell a mom to go get their daughter for a reckoning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your daughter brought this upon herself. Bring her outside now.
Yeah, this.
Like, but I told you to go home. You go, we don't give a rat's ass, Mom.
These 13 and 14-year-old girls have really transformed in my imagination.
Because you're not allowed to hit them anymore.
By the way, the 14th of May was on a Saturday.
Okay, so yeah, less intimidating now.
Yeah, they went to 7-Eleven, got themselves some Slurpees.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what do you want to do next?
Yeah. Well, let's go harass Denise.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You know
let's own her house.
Yeah. You know she's got a mom that's really easy to beat up. That's what Jessica told me. So
I'm starting to feel more for this mom. I thought it was like midday.
No, it was nighttime and all that good stuff. So you guys just need to go, Otto said. She told them as she got closer to the car. I go, you know, she's not coming out. And they're like, well, either she's coming out or we're coming in. And I'm like, no, you're not. And then 2 of them jumped out of the car. Oh, shit.
Shut the door. There's an easy fix to this. Shut the door. Call 911.
No, she was already walking towards the car.
Oh.
She was trying to big mom him.
Oh, man.
See, this is
I would fall for that.
This is when you've seen way too much of Medea. Medea's the only mom that can. Once again, black moms have an inherent. I don't think I could take a black mom. A white mom, I feel like I could take.
I don't know.
But there's an intimidation factor from black moms.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what they would be. I feel like they could whoop anyone's ass.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Totally. What I would do? If I was ever up against insurmountable odds like that as the mother?
I'd grab a baseball bat.
I would grab my daughter.
Oh.
Right? Okay. And then I'd start beating my own daughter in front of them.
Okay.
And then
I'm listening.
I know, but you're not listening. But you're not absorbing it.
Yes. Because it's oil and I only absorb water.
Seems weird. I don't know what kind of substance you are that works, but fine.
I don't know either.
So I would just start beating my daughter in front of them, and I'd be like, is this what you want? And they're like, my God, what is wrong with this lady? If she's willing to do this to her child, what is she going to do to us? And that's how I'd get out of that situation.
Yeah. Minor child abuse charges on you, I'm sure. I don't think that's the best plan.
All right. Well, I'm just spitfiring.
We'll file it away as a maybe.
So you don't like my rooftop stalking idea, and you don't like my beating my own child idea.
Yeah, the filing cabinet is the fireplace. Don't worry, it'll be super safe there.
I don't believe you. So one of the girls who Otto and the family described as having blonde hair hit her in the face, Otto told police. Miss Otto stated the blonde female ended up on top of her and was continuing to strike her in the face with a closed fist. Pound and ground and pound.
Wow, I feel horrible for this mom. This is crazy.
Yeah, I told you. This is nuts.
This is baffling.
It is on the Sheep podcast.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. The police report said The other girl, apparently I'm a stutterer now, described, oh my God, I have what Biden has, described by the family as having black hair, ended up on top of Miss Otto trying to help the blonde female, the older daughter told police. Yeah, so you got your ass kicked.
I think the dad should have been like, girls, get out there.
Yeah, because as a dad, you can really do some damage to if you, like, let's say I saw you out there getting your ass kicked. On one hand, I'd really want to just go out there and I think what I would do. All right.
Okay.
I've got another one. Okay. As the male in this situation, seeing my wife get her ass kicked, and I'm on the roof, obviously, in this situation.
Right.
So I jump down, do a nice little forward roll out of it, so that way they know that I'm...
You've watched enough parkour.
Right.
You know what to do.
Right. And then I think I would just go over to him, and then I would just lay on top of them as they're beating you up, because my weight would be enough to just slowly...
Yeah, but that could be sexual harassment.
Yeah, but that's...
Anything the second you touch him is sexual harassment, probably.
What? Well, I'm boneless, though.
I know.
I'm going boneless.
I'm just saying how they would probably retell the tale.
What if I go boneless backwards?
Interesting.
Like a trust fall.
Yeah.
On top of you, who's getting your ass kicked. But
So
it would
I'll
also
just
be
crushed by your weight.
It's better than 14-year-old fists raining down on you.
I don't know. I want to say I could handle a 13 and 14-year-old.
You think you could handle 2?
Yeah.
You ever been punched in the face?
Slapped?
Getting punched in the face is shocking.
I know, but I have been punched by a lady.
Kinda.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I was
They were limp wrist.
Yeah, there was not a lot of technique there.
No.
So,
Yeah, these girls might have some more.
Yeah, so Otto's husband and older daughter came outside and immediately tried to help. The older daughter told police that she pulled the black-haired female off of Miss Otto and then pulled off the blonde female. Okay, so you didn't... So wait, the daughter took care of 2? What are you doing here, Dad?
He clearly knew the 18-year-old's capable.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would just slowly just start to try to push him away with my foot. Is that the best thing that you could do as a guy?
I grabbed a rake.
Yeah.
And just tried to prong him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a spider. I can't touch it.
Someone had to have called 911 by this point, though.
I don't know. It hasn't stated.
Or take a video.
No video either. So Miss Otto stated that when she stood up, the blonde female took a fighting stance and was moving toward her. The report said that's when her husband, who took a cane with him outside, was able to use that to bring her to the ground. I wonder what that means.
I don't know. Because you're wondering which side he used.
Of the cane?
Yeah, like, 'cause you're thinking about it, you're like, maybe he did this like Daredevil would, and he jumped around and hooked one of her hands around her back and brought it all the way around. You're seeing some crazy aerobatics.
Right.
They pulled this off.
I'm going to say no.
Oh. Maybe he just tripped her from the bottom then.
I think he just wailed on her. If I'm being completely honest about the situation.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I doubt it was what it it was either that or he used the old two-handed cane move and just kind of like tried to like shuffle her away, and then she ended up falling.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you were to approach, I would hope you would do that move instead of hitting him, just because I don't know how the public would take it. Because it'd be like, he doesn't know his own strength.
So what my brother used to do to me is he would, to immobilize me, is he would push me onto the ground and have it so my belly was on the ground, face first, right? And then he would grab my underwear and he would lock my leg in like a figure 4 type thing. Using my own legs, he'd put one leg behind my knee pit. Yeah. And then he'd grab that other leg and kind of...
That makes sense.
Shove it up towards my butt. Yeah. So that way it trapped my other leg, and then he would grab my underwear and wrap my underwear over my shoe And so then I'm just stuck there giving myself a wedgie.
That's pretty good. Very creative.
Yeah, you couldn't do that to the females.
No.
I couldn't, but an 18 or 16-year-old could.
Yeah, well, nowadays, who knows? They might be wearing a thong.
Right, that's not enough to hold back something. Not these whores. And so after leaving, so the two teens who initially got out of the car got back inside the white sedan and drove away. After leaving the Otto home, one of the suspects allegedly posted a Snapchat story detailing the assault that Otto's younger daughter took screenshots of. One message read, "Imagine letting your mom get her ass beat." And another one read, "Tell your mom to come clean her blood off my window."
These girls are idiots.
Yeah, they're also insane.
Well, it sounds like they're like trying to get street cred with how they posted these, not realizing this is just going to be evidence against them.
Well, also not realizing that you're in Blue Springs.
Yeah.
Straight out of Blue Strings.
Strings. Blue Springs.
Springs?
Yeah.
Oh, Springs. That makes more sense. Yeah. It's like you're from Blue Springs. You're not. I grew up in the mean streets. Oh yeah, where are you from? Blue Springs.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Sounds quite nice, actually. Now, I once beat this mom's ass. Why? Her daughter didn't come outside.
To play.
Yeah. It was going to be a 4-on-1. Instead, it was just a 2-on-1 against a mom. Like, jeez, Louise. So let's see here. So a couple hours after the incident, police spoke to the two teens named in the report. One of the girls told police that Otto came to the side of the car and swung at one of the teens inside, and that's when the teen hit her in return. So wait, so they weren't outside of the car, so you're telling me she tried to punch
into the car?
Yeah, that seems dumb. I don't believe that. The suspect, who was allegedly on top of Otto, was removed and then knocked to the ground, told police. She felt as if she was assaulted. Yeah, of course she did.
Yeah.
When asked why she didn't call police, she said she thought she would be in trouble. Well, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
Because
didn't feel like you were in trouble when you posted that.
No, idiots. So Otto, who said she doesn't remember the actual assault, waited for 6 days before she went to the doctor. At that time, she was diagnosed with a concussion and fractured nose. Sunday was the first day she didn't have a headache. Oh, man.
She had memory loss from that concussion.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't remember the actual assault. Yeah, that's true, which is probably a good thing. So in the 2 weeks since the incident, Otto said she hasn't heard from any of the parents of the girls in the car, no apologies, and only 2 suspects were named in the report. At least one other teen was there, she said. "I was severely hurt," Otto said. "These girls seem to have zero regard for anybody, and to me, it seems like they think they can do whatever they want, and they get away with it." It sounds like they have parents that don't give a shit about them.
Yeah, I do think that's a lot on the parents.
I think if you're a 13 and 14-year-old daughter, if you have a 13-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old daughter, and she's out on a Saturday night at 10:30, she's probably up to no good.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to picture if, let's say I have a daughter that's 14, 15, heck, even 16. There ain't no damn way she's going to be out past 10:30 on a Saturday.
Well, that's where the family that got attacked, that's where their girls were at. They were both at home.
Yeah. So I guess the safest place is out in the streets.
Yeah.
Really never mind.
On you.
Do you have anybody coming for you? Then you need to be out of here. No, I don't.
They know where you live.
They know where you live. I don't want the heat. You can't stay here. But Mom, all I did was kiss her boyfriend. You got to get out of here. Denise is a real bitch.
We've got a safe house at your aunt's house. Just go.
Yeah, just go. Just go get, go have wild sex with some randos. Okay, do whatever you got to do. Just stay out of the house. Yeah, I just think it's bad parenting.
Yeah, that's...
Good boxing lessons, bad parenting. That's where we'll end on that.
Yeah, maybe get those girls into some boxing.
Yeah.
Something constructive.
Yeah, it is pretty irresponsible, I think, of a parent not calling to apologize for your daughter assaulting an adult. That's
assuming they even know what their daughters were up to.
Right.
But 2 of them were named, so they have to have been.
Police were called, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they've got to know, right?
Yeah. So, okay, bad parents again.
Yeah, whenever I see something like a 13 or 14-year-old and they're doing something like this, I just assume bad parenting. I don't know. Call me old-fashioned.
You're old-fashioned.
How dare you?
Okay.
Cool. So, moving on. All right. I don't know if this one is... You tell me how... Word vomit. Perfect.
Okay.
You tell me how you feel about this one, okay?
You got it.
Which is pretty much just a recap of your normal job on this podcast. So, sperm donor fathered 15 kids without telling moms he has a genetic IQ disease.
Oh. I've never even heard of such a thing.
What?
A genetic IQ disease.
Yeah. I mean, it's an IQ disease. A disease can be genetic, so why couldn't it be an IQ disease? Oh. That's how I think about it.
Well, I understand the idea of it. I just said I'd never heard of it before.
Do you have a genetic IQ disease?
I'm thinking one of us in the room does.
So a Facebook sperm donor fathered 15 children but never told the mothers he has an inheritable condition that causes learning disabilities. James McDougall, 37, fathered children with lesbian women through private donations advertised on social media despite knowing he had an incurable Fragile X syndrome, a genetic disorder that leads to low IQ and developmental delay.
Well, who knows if he ever actually learned that about himself.
Right. I mean, or he did and he forgot about it because he's got a Fragile X syndrome.
Or maybe he just never was taught or learned that it was socially unacceptable not to let people know.
Maybe he didn't know it was genetic, meaning maybe he didn't, maybe he probably knew that he had a mental disorder.
Oh, that's
maybe
true.
He didn't realize that it was
a disease.
It was a disease and that it could,
interesting.
And
yeah.
It could pass down to his kids.
Could be, yeah.
Also, or
Ooh.
He hates lesbians and he wanted them all to have dumb kids.
Ooh, that's the juiciest one. I'm going with that one.
Perfect. So this hateful son of a bitch. McDougall's identity came out in a family court battle in Derby, United Kingdom, after he appealed for parental responsibility and child arrangement orders for 4 of his children, even though he originally signed an agreement saying he didn't want contact with some of his children. So there's only a couple that he wanted to keep talking to. Which one of you got it? You 4 didn't? Hey. So the mothers of the children were opposed to the applications. Who knew lesbians would be upset that their sperm donor wants to be involved in their dumb kids' lives? Sorry, kids. So, Derby Court Judge Justice Natalie Levin named McDougall to stop other women from using him as a sperm donor and ruled he should not have any responsibility for the children as it would cause them harm. Well, I think he's already done his work.
Yeah, this one you just might have to just call it a loss in a way. But you still gained a child.
Yeah.
Like, you still love him.
For life. So...
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's super difficult.
Yeah. So the judge also forbade McDougall from applying for a court order for the next 3 years due to his lack of insight into his conduct and because it would traumatize the mothers. Would it traumatize the mothers? I don't know. I feel like we used the word traumatize a little bit too much.
I thought that the mothers were the ones that were going after him in court. Why is the judge shutting him down? I don't quite understand that part.
No, it started because he wanted to have visitation rights for 4 of his kids that he fathered. So he went to court to get that because he signed a piece of paper
that said he was going to have nothing to do with them.
Right. And then he decided against that. He changed his mind, or he finally thought through something. And
continue.
I would have gotten through it if you hadn't looked at me.
Well, my chair is pointed in your direction, Andrew. I don't know what you want from me.
Rotate. Rotate your turret. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, and so then he went to court to get these four, to visit these four kids. And then the moms found out who he actually was, that he had a mental disability that was genetic, and then now they're filing a lawsuit against him because they're filing a lawsuit for false advertisement, but because they did it through Facebook, it's not a big deal. It's not, there's no lawsuit that can be had because they didn't do it through a company. They just did it through...
Yeah, they just did it through...
Facebook.
Hopeful promises.
Right. And so there's really no lawsuit there. I don't think. I'm not a lawyer by any sense of the imagination. But, according to this, but what they're saying is they just want this to go on file so that way he can't keep tricking women into having his dumb kids.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds
That
like.
makes sense. I'm all for that plan.
Yeah. So the judge also forbade McDougal from applying for a court order for the next 3 years due to his lack of insight into his conduct and because it would traumatize the mothers. The court heard from one woman only identified as SW, Southwest, 25, who got into contact with McDougal after seeing his advertisement. Her children are now 3 and 2 years old. I feel like you're really young for a sperm donor. That means you were like 21 and 20.
Maybe she met her one true lesbian love.
Yeah, that still seems early. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm just saying you made this decision when you were 21 and you ended up getting a less than perfect specimen.
Yeah, but I mean,
excuse me.
A lot of people choose to start families at 21.
I agree with that statement, but what I'm saying is you're not fully mentally developed until you're 25.
Yeah, I want to see the age of her partner.
Yeah,
that made this decision with her, because if they're like a little bit older, maybe like 26 to 20 or to 30.
Yeah,
I'd be a little bit more okay with it because I feel like they would probably have more work put into a real job and stability.
Right. So SW's 3-year-old child is nonverbal and has challenging behavior due to Fragile X syndrome. Yeah. So this kid's got it. Great. After giving birth, SW contacted McDougal, who visited often, according to the Mirror. She became pregnant with her second child while McDougal lived at her home during the COVID-19 lockdown until she asked him to leave in June 2020.
So she invited him over. I don't know if the prospect was to get pregnant again. And then she's like, no, he's super weird. You got to go.
Yeah, are they doing this the old-fashioned way?
I think so, because it's Facebook.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because you're doing this so you can avoid the $10,000 that it costs to...
get a doctor to...
do the whole...
put a turkey baster in you.
Right. Beautiful. SW claimed he made... So SW, Southwest, claimed he made sexual comments toward her and showered with the baby at least twice. That's kind of normal. He was arrested in June 2020 for attacking her. I'm guessing SW, not the baby.
Yeah.
So in a different court, McDougal won a case allowing him to have regular contact with a boy he fathered who was born in July of 2018. The child returned with non-accidental bruises, and Levin adjourned the case until social services could get a report. So this guy's got 15 kids, and he doesn't know what to do with any of them.
He sounds like bad news.
Yeah, he sounds like an abuser, and he sounds like a kind of a dum-dum.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't... I think they need to snip him and drop him in a new area.
Snip him and drop him in a new area, and then reintroduce him into the wild. Hey, you're free. You're free, go. It's a bit much, Mel.
Yeah, I know it's not legal. That's why we keep it on the hush-hush, guys.
Oh, okay. Right. So McDougal went with private sperm donations because he knew he couldn't go through a clinic with his condition, the court heard. The judge has had no confidence in McDougal explaining to the mothers the implications of Fragile X syndrome. There's a very specific benefit in his being named in the hope that women will look him up on the internet and seeing this judgment. the judge said after refusing his lawyer's request for anonymity. Yeah, so they basically just launched this whole thing just so they would have his name all over the internet.
I'm all for that. I think that's good on you guys for rallying to make sure he couldn't do this to another individual.
Yeah. So the usual approach of anonymity, I have no idea, in the family courts should... I'm trying. In the family courts should not be used as a way for parents to behave in an unacceptable manner and then hide behind a cloak of... why do you have to use this word so much? Anonymity.
I think you had it most of the times.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's when you second guessed yourself.
Anonymity.
There you go.
No, it sounds like I don't have amenities. not anonymity.
Well, think of it in its base form. Anonymous.
Anonymity. Anonymity. Anonymity.
I'm not even going to try. Because I know I'm going to butcher it more than you did.
This whole podcast is me just going to be trying to figure out this damn word. So McDougal's adoptive parents, June and John, spoke to the Daily Mail in their son's defense, claiming he is a victim. He is kind-hearted and would do anything for anybody, but he is gullible, June said. He didn't seek any money, as far as we are aware, for providing that service. He just did it. Can you believe it? He just had sex with these girls. Can you believe that?
Oh, man.
Oh, June.
Parents will always love their child.
Yeah, June, it sounds like you're a little gullible yourself.
Gullible.
Shut up. All right, I've got cotton mouths in my mouth. Cotton balls in my mouth. I'm all over the place today, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I think what he's done is pretty deplorable. And who knows if he fully understands the full weight of it.
I don't think he does.
I don't think so either.
I think it would be pretty hard-pressed. I think it would take a pretty aware human being, somebody who's very self-aware, to go, I have this condition that I can pass on to a child, so therefore I'm going to exclude myself from this part of living so that way I don't pass this on to a child.
Yeah.
I think that takes a huge amount of self-awareness that I'm not sure somebody in his condition has the capacity to do something like that.
No, and then to speak to it more, he signed a agreement to say that he wouldn't be a part of these children's lives, and now he's battling it to be a part of their lives. So I don't think he fully understood what position he was going to be in the future.
Missionary.
He
Normally.
Understood that one really well.
Yeah. 15 times. Yeah.
Mama said.
Yeah, Mama said. You want a boy or a girl? All right. We're over. That's over.
Yeah.
All right. It's finished.
Sorry, ladies. Sounds like you have some really cute angels that are going to be a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have some disadvantages.
Yeah.
But nothing that they can't work through. All right. Moving on. This is a catch-up story.
Ooh.
That's right. Part 2. So you remember the pastor last week who went in front of his congregant?
Oh, yes, I do.
You've been looking forward to this part 2.
I was hoping for it. So let us hear the rest of your recap that I rudely interrupted.
Okay, so there was a pastor. There was a pastor at a church who went up in front of his congregation. Mm-hmm. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Congregation, and said, apologized to them because he has sinned. Over 20 years ago, he committed adultery, and then he resigns from his position, and he says, "I thank you all for all the time that I've spent here. I just want to spend time with my family now, and I just want to apologize to them, and they've been accepting and loving and all that good stuff, and da-da-da-da." And he's about to walk out. Well, anyways, this woman comes on stage and then
comes up with her husband, too.
Comes up with her husband and says, "No, it's not just adultery. I was 16, you sicko. I lost my virginity in your office when I was 16 years old, and it went on for 7 years.
Yeah, so it turns out to be pretty horrible.
Because it was statutory rape now.
And so we had our biggest
qualm
with it was, how did she...
Why was she there?
Yeah, why was she there? Had she been a part of the church for all those years thereafter? Or had somebody talked to her about it, letting her know he was about to get this off his chest?
Right.
So, that's where we're at, everyone.
That was my biggest qualm, because it didn't make sense why you would stay at the church of the person who staged you.
Yeah, and you didn't like the... You were worried about the husband's role.
Yeah,
and the fact that he would come with her willingly to church every Sunday for...
Just to listen to a guy who raped your wife.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, an Indiana woman who confronted pastor over sex abuse details her prison of lies and pain. So this is a follow-up. So the Indiana woman who confronted a pastor for allegedly abusing her as a teen described the years of grooming at the hands of the church leader and her decision to go public. Bobby Geffert said family members convinced her to approach 65-year-old pastor John B. Lowe II at New Life Christian Church and World Outreach. What is it with churches having such long names? When the pastor announced he was stepping down due to committing adultery 2 decades ago. I had family members texting me saying, "You need to get to the church. You should be there. They need to hear your story."
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
So she hadn't been going to the church, but she did have some family going to the church and some friends, I guess.
And it was a small town, so she was really close.
So she drove to the church while they're doing this, but the other family members, I don't understand how family members who knew about the grooming and the sexual assault that she faces as a 16-year-old could even manage like that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Once I know that this person who's being perceived as a man of God is sexually abusing one of my family members, you know what I'm not going to do? Sit down once a week and listen to him spew his crap.
I can imagine there was probably some rumor dynamics that the extensive family probably just didn't want to be pulled into, and I could imagine that with it maybe being the only church in town too, they were worried probably about how much power this guy had as a pastor and how much influence he had.
Yeah, I just don't. I guess I don't know. I'm not.
There is no real answer, but I can see a situation where maybe they weren't in a position to be able to call him into task.
Yeah, I still wouldn't just... It would just drive me... It would make me hate God.
Yeah.
To sit there and listen to a guy week after week who raped my sister or my cousin or my whatever, my friend. Doesn't really matter what it was. Once I found out that you're a graper... Yeah.
Because it was statutory.
Yeah, it was
right.
Well, yeah. I mean, he did some grooming.
Yeah.
She's 16.
Yeah. I agree. I'm just saying it for the listeners.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing this for them, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I completely agree. I wouldn't be able to go to that either. But I also think that you're an individual, and I don't mean this to be judgy of you, because I think it's a fine quality you have. But if you've been wronged, you make sure it doesn't happen again. That's the type of personality, and I just don't know if this family also has those same characteristics.
Yeah. So Bobby's husband, Nate, had already planned to confront the pastor about his years of grooming and sexual abuse himself. He told the outlet, "No, you didn't." Instead, Bobby chose to confront her abuser herself in front of the congregation with her husband at her side. I'm going to be honest, I doubt Nate actually had that thought. I bet he had the thought, but I don't think he was going to do it.
No, otherwise, if he hadn't done it by now.
Yeah, you can't say, "I was already going to do this, but she did it." Shut up, Nate.
Yeah.
No offense, Nate. You're making yourself look worse here.
Yeah, he should have just been like, no, she wanted this for herself.
Yeah, this was her. Yes, I support my wife and everything that she does. I'm horrified by what happened to her. I mean, of course, I always fantasized about beating his ass. You say something like that.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have helped her.
Yeah, that's not what she needed from me.
Right. You're saying something like that versus saying something like, no, I was already going to do it. Yeah. Trust me. You can trust
the plans were in the works.
Yeah, you're like, no. You're... Okay. You know, I actually had plans of cracking the neutron myself. And you're like...
It means nothing.
So. Yeah, you're like, but it was already cracked. And you're like, well, yeah, once I found that out, I decided to become a homeless bum. All right.
Yeah. So, okay. So she's talking about confronting him.
So, yeah. So the husband already said that he was going to do that anyways, right?
Yeah.
So now that goes back to the whatever the guy, the holy man, Lowe. So on the stage of the church, Lowe admitted that he had committed adultery nearly 20 years ago. And here we go again. So I committed adultery. It was nearly 20 years ago. I'm trying to sound pastory.
Yeah.
I committed adultery. It was nearly 20 years ago. It continued far too long, he said from the podium, according to a viral video posted on Facebook by a church member. It involved one person, and there's been no other, nor any other situation of unbecoming conduct for the last 20 years. Sure, I dress up as a fox and run through the woods every once in a while.
No, it's funny he says it went on too long. It makes it sound like she got too old for him or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I will not use the Bible to defend, protect, and deflect my past sin. I have no defense. I committed the adultery. Then why bring up the Bible? If you're not going to use it, I hate it when people say that. They're like, I'm not going to use all my past good deeds as a way to deflect from what I've done. Just keep them in mind.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to use them.
I'm not bringing these things up so that you think about them.
I'm bringing this up so that way you don't think about them. You're on what? That doesn't make any sense.
Turns out he only brought up half the story.
Yeah, I committed the adultery, he said. So he continued talking about his sin for several minutes as he apologized for the hurt. He seems like the type of guy that would sin, and then afterwards he goes, I feel closer to God now.
Yeah.
That's the kind of, it's just
like
the
it was
vibe.
On purpose.
Yeah, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. For several minutes as he apologized for the hurt it has caused both his family members and his congregation, adding that he repented for his actions and his silence. He asked for forgiveness and informed congregants that he would be stepping down as pastor to a standing ovation of applause. God, that would irritate me so badly.
No, but that makes his fall from fame even better.
Oh, my God.
The bigger the giant, the bigger the fall. Or louder the fall? I'm not sure which way.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Huh. I was really off.
Yeah, you were. The bigger the giant's footprint he leaves, the more water it holds as he walks down the field.
Man.
You're like, what are you talking
Super
about?
Super off. Yeah. It's not going to stop me from trying, though.
When a horse hoof neighs, as they say. You're like, no, nobody says that. I don't know.
Should make a book, my own quotes.
Yeah, that'd be a great book. So, but Geffart knew that this was not the true confession and took to the stage to tell her church community what had actually happened. What I wanted was freedom, she told Fox about getting on stage to tell her story, and for my husband to know my heart, and for people not to be lied to anymore.
Gosh, I wish I was there to see his face when he saw her on stage.
He had to have seen her in the audience.
I don't know. The family texted her as he was doing this.
Yeah, but you got those big-ass church doors that open up mid-speech.
And I hope she just went, bam!
Both doors?
Both doors. But you have to also think that in a big church hall, there's probably multiple entrances too, so she could have easily snuck in from a side door.
Yeah, but you don't need to use a side. I would use main entrance.
I would too.
Just really disrupt the whole thing.
Yeah. And then just have your husband just like kind of just scurrying behind you as you take your super confident footsteps forward.
Why is the husband scurrying? Why in this image of the woman do we have to make the man seem meek?
Yeah, it's just because of what he said before. Now I'm kind of just like not on his side right now.
Yeah, I gotcha.
He's more of just like a minion to me.
he seems a little meek.
Yeah.
He seems a little meek. So we took it upon ourselves and went right to the stage without anybody's permission and took the mic. Oh my God.
Mic drop, but it's still in her hand.
We took it upon ourselves. We went right on stage without anybody's permission. You're like, well, yeah.
It's a church. They're pretty welcoming.
Yeah. I've seen Boondock Saints. Those guys just walk right up while the guy's talking. They don't stop anybody. So Nate spoke to the congregants first. If you love us, then please let us talk, he pleaded before Bobby took the microphone. Oh, so he was her hype man.
Oh, nice. Okay. I appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and this is her. This is her speaking.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll try to what are my goals here? I want my husband to know my heart. I want people to not be lied to anymore, and I want freedom. These are a lot of strong emotions coming through. All right? So this is my acting, all right? My voice acting. You ready? All right.
I'm serious.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
serious.
Okay, you ready? Okay. For 27 years, I lived in a prison. It was not 20 years. I was just 16 when you took my virginity on your office floor. Do you remember that? I know you do. Geffard, now 43, told Lowe. I lived in a prison of lies and pain. Lying to protect the Lowe family. I thought I was a horrible person for having suicidal thoughts, not realizing what had truly been done to me, she said. The church deserves to know the truth. This church has been built on lies, but no more. I love a good but no more. The lies need to stop, she said in the clip. Scene.
I don't think anyone stayed and hung out after that.
No, I don't think anybody came up afterwards and goes, we have brownies and cookies downstairs for everyone afterwards. Sunday school is going to be going on as normal. I think this is a half day at church.
Yeah.
I think people go home. You go to the Denny's, you go get your brunch, and you talk about how crazy that crap was.
Yeah. Endless mimosas, wherever those are.
Yeah, you go. We're drinking today, son. This is a lot.
That would be crazy. I couldn't imagine such a dark secret coming out.
Yeah, and then the crowd. So here, get this.
Oh, yeah,
so then the congregation stood up and started chanting, "Jerry, Jerry."
No.
No, but this is what happens when church becomes Jerry Springer. My God.
People really rallied, I guess.
So she told the congregation she would still be in that prison of lies had it not been for her brother asking her about a month ago about what he had seen as a teenager that bothered him all these years. The brother.
Good for him.
Including seeing Lowe lying in bed with Bobby as a teenager when she was just in a t-shirt and underwear.
He's a despicable man.
Yeah, she said fear had kept her silent for over 2 decades. The lies and the manipulation have to stop, she emotionally told the crowd. I was a prisoner, and you kept me in your prison. I am a prisoner no longer. Very dramatic, actually. Not bad for an impromptu speech.
No, not bad at all.
So Nate takes back the microphone and said the abuse lasted nearly a decade until he and Bobby started dating. Oh, God. My wife. Okay, so now I'm the husband. I'm a little I'm a scurrier.
It was just, yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know what I would do if I was in the guy's shoes.
The husband's shoes?
Yeah.
He's a tiny guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's shorter than the pastor, which never helps.
No, it does not.
Yeah, there's a natural, having to look up at somebody is a natural...
Yeah, but at the same time, I think when you look up at someone and you realize what they've done too, at least like to that degree of what this person's committed, I don't think the pastor would look like a person to me anymore.
No, he would just look like a tree you want to chop down.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. So now I'm the husband, okay? And I found out that this pastor's been banging my wife. So that's the vibe I'm coming in with, all right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My wife! It's not just adultery. It's another level when it's a teenager. And I will not let this man talk about my wife like that, he says. It happened for 9 years when she was 15, 16, and the sexual grooming started. It goes far beyond adultery, he added. Lowe, facing loud, demanding questions from members of the audience, admits, "We did it."
Gosh, this is.
I got to give him credit for admitting to it.
Yeah. Gosh.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting him to admit it.
How old was Lowe when he...
He is 65.
Yeah.
She is 42. So she was 16.
It was 20 or 27 years ago?
Hang on a second. So let's see here. He's 65. She's 42. So that's a 23-year age gap. So she was 16. So add 23 years to that. 39.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So Lowe, facing loud, demanding questions from members of the audience, admits, "We did it at 16. She was 16 years old." Oh, he admitted it. He asked again for forgiveness. "If I could go back and redo it all, I would."
9 years, dude. 9 years.
"I can't, and all I can do is ask you to forgive me," Lowe says in the surreal exchange. "It's been 20 years. I know. I guess it doesn't count for anything. We loved them. I deeply hurt them. I deeply hurt you. I ask you to forgive me, and that's all I can do."
Church is adjourned.
Yeah. Geffert told Fox News she had never considered herself to be an actual victim. After speaking with her brother on May 9th, she said she had finally mustered up the courage to tell her husband what she had experienced after hiding it from him for years.
Oh, so he didn't know.
He didn't know until May 9th, or at least later than that. "I asked my brother to help me tell Nate," she said. "What I just wanted in my life was freedom, for him to know me and to know what I went through, and just to be honest. And I partly believed that it was my fault." Well, I'm not trying to say that, it is your fault, but there's this weird situation that's going on right now where you're not allowed to blame the victim. And of course, it's not the victim's fault ever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a lone female, it's 4 a.m. in New York, don't walk down a dark alley by yourself.
Right. But I think in this
situation,
yeah,
because she's at church and this is somebody who she's been told to listen to and follow, and this is a leader in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it is her fault.
Besides, with victims of this type of abuse, they feel like there's someone out of control, and there have been cases where if they feel like they make the choice to accept it, and it feels like it's still in their control.
Right.
So it becomes a real mind game that twists into them trying to make it okay in their head when the alarm bells are ringing and they know something's off.
That makes sense. So all I ever wanted was for Nate to know me because I lied to him. He thought I was a virgin when we got married. I'd be a little irritated by that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like one that there's like no way to really ever tell him. It's something it sounds like she just wanted to forget about forever.
I understand that, but I still think that's I don't know. I think that I understand both. If the husband did get upset by this, I could understand both sides.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because when I marry you, when I propose to you, or before we get married, I expect to see all of your receipts. I'm expecting to already know all of your secrets.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what I'm marrying into. Mm-hmm. If I don't know all of your secrets, it just makes me go, well, what else are you keeping from me?
Yeah.
And I know that this isn't, this is a special circumstance, right? But as the husband, it would be in my brain going, well, she kept something this big from me.
Yeah.
And she lied to me about this. Like, if it happened once, I kind of understand. But this happened for 9 years. She had or 7 years, however long it was. She had a sexual relationship with a leader in the community. And she told me she was a virgin. She didn't have to say she was a virgin.
Yeah.
She could have just said, no, I lost my virginity.
Yeah, it just sounds like she wasn't in a good place mentally. She wanted to move on from whatever this pastor was doing and whatever their relationship was. And I think she muffed it. I think she
handled that. I think a horrible situation.
Yeah.
I think she handled it incorrectly.
Yeah.
When it comes to her husband.
Yeah, I think she just kind of stumbled.
Right. And I don't blame her for it because, I've never been in that position, so who the hell am I to say anything?
Right.
That being said, as your husband, I would like to know these things before I propose. Not before I propose, but even after I propose. I can understand you not telling a boyfriend, but I'm about to be you and me. It's going to be you and me for the rest of our lives. I kind of need to know some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So this whole time he has no clue that even the man he's looking up to has done these horrendous things to me. And that would make me feel sick to know that I was just like, as the husband, once again, I'm inserting myself in the point of the husband because I have a hard time inserting myself as the female in this situation.
Okay.
So as the husband, I would be pretty sickened that for however much longer that this abuse, let's say I did look up to this guy, right? And I'm like, hey, it's great to see you, and I'm always got a big smile on my face, and my wife. You guys, used to know. And now I have there's this weird vibe that's going on between the pastor and the wife. There's this secret that's going on between them that I don't know about. I would feel kind of foolish.
Yeah, I could see that side of it. But he wasn't going to the church. Who knows how well he knew this guy, this individual.
No, they said that they didn't say that they were going to the church, but they said, and so this whole time he has no clue that even the man he's looking up to had done these horrendous things to me.
Ooh.
So he looked up to this guy. This guy was a mentor or some kind of...
I think it's just small town.
Small town. This guy is somebody that he respected and all this kind of stuff and probably talked about in a very, whatever kind of way. And that was probably pretty hard for the wife, on the other hand, too, to go, well, this guy that you admire so much...
It's actually a scumbag.
Is actually a scumbag, and he did this to me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So she described how difficult it was to come forward and tell the truth about a man whose family was like family to us. Yeah, see, Geffert's mother had been a nanny to the Lowe family, and Bobby and Nate had lived with them for a time, she said. And that is what was the hardest part. Hard for people to realize that we were there all the time and heavily involved in our church, and this whole time stuffing those secrets inside me, she said. I guess he nicknamed his penis Secrets.
Yeah, I was... It's not the best sentence in the world.
Yeah. So everything I knew was that church. My whole life was that church. I went to school at that church, Geffert said. The grooming, she said, started with shoulder massages, lap sits, long hugs, things like that nature that would get longer and deeper before escalating. Geffert told Fox that although the sexual aspect of the relationship began when she was 16, the legal age of consent in Indiana, molestation happened prior to that. So he didn't start having sex with her until it was legal, but he was molesting her before that.
Yeah.
There are currently no plans to take legal action against Lowe, she said, given the age of consent and the statute of limitations in their state, but said she and her family are working on healing together. She has not spoken to Lowe since confronting him, but said a family had reached out and was very kind. She said she hopes the pastor's heart changes. She urged all of those who have been victims of sexual abuse to find somebody they can talk to. You can't just live your life trying to protect others. You also have to free yourself.
Yeah. I think hopefully this church just heals and goes into a even brighter position, because it sounds like it had a really dark secret.
Yeah, just I once again, as the family who knew about this, it just doesn't, because it sounds like other family members texted her other than her brother.
Well, it sounds like they all kind of found out about it at once.
Like early May.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just... yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky situation.
It is. And it came... I mean, I think with these kind of cases, it always comes out of the blue.
Yeah, and
so there's a lot of shock factor to it.
And I apologize to the husband. I didn't realize that you only found out about it on May 9th. Whatever.
Very heartfelt.
I was wrong. I hate it. Now, I just, I don't know. As a husband, I guess the only thing you really can do is just support your wife in that situation.
Yeah, because she's just been dealing with this insider for years more so. Like, she's had this mental battle going on for a long time.
Right, and you're just now joining the fight.
Yeah.
You don't know the rest of it.
Yeah, he wishes he could have joined it sooner.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
That's just a long, I don't know. Anyways, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like she was just going to take it to her grave.
It's what it sounded like. Good for the brother for talking to her about it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Last story of the day, guys.
Woo.
Okay. Whew. We got through that one. All right. Intense. So, 88-year-old man says he can't remember killing his granddaughter due to his Alzheimer's.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. So, an 88-year-old man in Japan, for those of you who don't speak Japanese, has been sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for fatally stabbing his 16-year-old granddaughter, an act of violence he claimed he didn't remember due to his Alzheimer's.
4.5 years? That's it?
So there's a reason for it.
All right.
Okay? It's because they're letting him keep count.
Oh, gosh.
That's pretty good.
Nothing like ending an episode with an Alzheimer's joke.
That is a good one. Sorry, Grandma. His 16-year-old so 4.5 years in prison for fatally stabbing his 16-year-old granddaughter. So the man, Susumu Tomizawa, was reportedly arguing with his granddaughter, Tomomi, in the night of her murder in September 2020 in western Japan's Fukui prefecture. He took a 17-centimeter long kitchen knife from a storage unit in his house and went into her bedroom, where he repeatedly stabbed her in the neck, a court heard last month.
Wow.
Tomizawa said he could not remember killing Tomomi, nor recall what their fight was about, but a judge ruled that he understood the weight of his actions, citing in part a phone call he made to his eldest son about Tomomi's bloodied body on the floor just after the stabbing. Why is your granddaughter staying with you, and why is no one watching after you?
It's probably just one of those big home setups where they just have different families all staying in one household.
Maybe. His manner of committing the crime was dangerous, and his strong intent to kill was evident, the judge at the Fukui District Court said Tuesday, the national broadcaster NHK reported. This case has some shock to residents in Fukui Prefecture, where violent crimes are extremely rare. Nobody cares about the stats. It's not often you hear about a grandchild being the victim of a violent crime. Katsuri Uki, a Fukui police officer who investigates murders, told Vice World News. Tomomi began living with her grandfather about a month before she was murdered, after fighting and falling out with her own parents, but the two reportedly did not get along. Yeah, well, gave that away. I kind of put this on the parents.
I mean, who would have thought this would happen, though? But
there's a lot of reports of people who have Alzheimer's and people who have Alzheimer's and cognitive decline getting very angry and aggressive.
That's true. I do remember that, actually. But yeah, I guess that is. You're bringing in an angsty teen
to a guy who doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
He can't remember any, he has a hard time remembering anything, and now he's got this angsty teen constantly yelling at him. And so now you're changing. The worst thing that you can do for a person with Alzheimer's is change the environment that they're in, because it increases the speed at which their Alzheimer's takes effect, because you're changing stuff that they thought they remembered.
Yeah.
And so now all of a sudden he's got this new kid in his house that he probably doesn't really remember.
Yeah, or just doesn't recognize anymore because she's kind of grown up.
Right. And she's so horrible that the parents can't even keep her in her own home.
Yeah. Yeah, it just sounds like a volatile
situation. Why would you put...
That was going to explode.
Right. Why are you putting your cognitive declining father in a position to take care of your daughter, who's aggressive and confrontational at the very least?
Yeah. Yeah, just...
This is not
It's a definite swing and a miss situation.
This is one of those situations where people to go, well, maybe their good sides will help each other.
Oh, I hate when that argument's made.
And you're like, no, this is what happens.
Yeah,
You need a stable human.
That's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, you're putting two non-stable people together.
Yeah. You're like, don't worry, they'll tire each other out and just take naps.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So, but the two reportedly did not get along, and the 16-year-old considered moving out. Tomizawa had been drinking heavily the night he stabbed her to death. That's the other thing. Alcohol is it has a huge detrimental effects to people with Alzheimer's. I don't blame... Weirdly enough, I really don't blame the grandfather all that much.
No,
they put him in a position to fail.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't even be taking care of himself, let alone a 16-year-old.
Yeah, it sounds like the family's kind of just in its own difficult situations right now, too. And they thought they could take on this teen. And I think they bit off more than they could chew.
Yeah, and maybe it was the 88-year-old's idea, right? Like maybe he was like, no, she can come and stay with me.
Could be.
Right? But then you should know as a parent, you go, well, Dad, you've been drinking spoiled milk for the last 4 months because you don't know that it's actually May.
I basically just treat you like a toddler now.
Yeah. No, is what you would say. So... Tomizawa's condition was a focal point in the trial, as a judge deliberating on the appropriate punishment had to assess whether the 88-year-old knowingly carried out the murder. I think he did. I think he did at the time, yeah. A week before the ruling, the court assigned a doctor to conduct a psychiatric evaluation of Tomizawa. The doctor, Hiroki Nakagawa, sure, confirmed that the grandfather did have Alzheimer's disease based on his past medical records, but said his condition likely didn't influence the crime, according to Fuku Television, a local news station.
I don't know know if I'd buy that.
I don't either. I remember I need to know how severe it was.
Yeah.
I know my grandmother didn't even remember who the hell I was when she started having Alzheimer's.
Well, yeah, and especially like
and
if it's at the point where he couldn't even remember mere minutes later after stabbing her that he had stabbed her.
Yeah, he didn't remember the fight. He didn't remember stabbing her. He didn't remember calling the son to talk about the bloody body.
Yeah, so his Alzheimer's had to be at an all-time high. And so maybe he had just gotten it together by some miracle when this professional evaluated him.
Well, he was also drinking too, which heightens it.
Yeah, I think this professional is not going to have a lot of visitors in the near future.
I mean, I'm not. Am I going to disagree with the doctor? Yes.
In this case,
yeah.
Am I'm all aboard.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't have that same deference to doctors that other people do. I think it's because my mom's a doctor, and so I'm just like, no, Mom.
Oh yeah. For me, it's just I'm judgy.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, simple.
So he had a motive for committing the crime, such as quarreling with Tomomi, and his actions were purposeful and consistent with his intent to kill, as he stabbed her in the neck. Nakagawa said. This is the doctor. Yeah, but once again, people with Alzheimer's have violent outbursts.
Yep. Yeah, they feel they don't understand their situation they're in, and then they lash out.
Yeah, because they're confused and they're angry.
Yeah.
Because what do they always say about people? People destroy the things that they don't understand. This guy doesn't understand anything right now.
Which is why the court gave him 4 years.
4.5, right? So nevertheless, court handed Tomizawa a reduced sentence because of his illness. Japan punishes murders with the death penalty or life imprisonment. The minimum sentence is 5 years. So yeah, so he got 4.5 years. I think that's an appropriate... I don't know. I think he should just be put in a mental health ward. And just because you think he has Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's going to do well in a prison.
No.
And I don't think he is... I think he was honestly somewhere along the lines of legally insane. Or I'm forgetting what the legal mumbo-jumbo is for not having the awareness to cause the crime.
Yeah, it wasn't coherent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think... I maintain that I think it's the parents' fault. I think the parents should have never put a 16-year-old in that situation or an 88-year-old. I'm sure that this is not what... I'm sure, obviously, that they had no idea that this was going to happen.
Right.
How could you predict something like this? That being said, I would have thought something like, well, she's a troubled teen. Maybe she's going to take advantage of her 88-year-old Alzheimer's grandfather by stealing stuff and going, no, you must have misplaced it.
Yeah, and maybe that's all that's the worst they would have thought.
Right? They didn't think that he was going to react in a certain way.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate, and it's a horrible tragedy. But at the same time, you shook a bottle of Coke and you left it there.
You left it. You put a Mentos in and you left it.
Yeah. It was going to burst eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened to really, really explode. Anyways, guys, that's all we've got for you guys today.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to another fantastic episode of Sheep. And as always,
stay classy out there, everyone.
There you go.